Okay, hello, Kuna. So we are going to be reviewing the February 12th public hearing. And this one's pretty long, 2 hours 24. I mean, I guess they're all pretty much long that way. So just to get through the highlights, we're going to just highlight the parts where they make motions. And then we'll figure out if it's worth looking at the project. And here we go.
0071 SDE. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application for the board extension of time on application 200600007.
Now, I think they say close the public hearing. Okay, so here it is. There was no opposition for this one.
There's no opposition. Is there anything we need to add to the record before I close the public hearing?
Mr. Chairman, my presentation will be exhibit number 21, and then Mr. Vidal's presentation will be exhibit number 22.
Okay. What did you want to do? Well, of course, there's no opposition, so I guess you want to do a rebuttal anyway. Okay, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, Tucker Johnson, for clarification.
Clarification.
I applaud Carlos's energy. There's material inaccuracies in what was presented there. Specifically, if you were to refer to one of the slides where the peg rentals was located, that general area was preliminarily platted back in 2006. At least 50% of that would be mixed, would be higher density residential of at least around 10 to 12 units per acre. That was the condition. He's inferring that the rest of it was going to be commercial. That's not the case from back in 2006. That's probably the only one in the room except for maybe Brent that was here back then.
I wasn't here.
Yeah. Part of the challenge with that location is the ACHA always from 2006 on prohibited.
Anyway, they voted for that, so let's go to the next one. All right, no opposition came up. Okay, so they moved to that one. Okay, nobody signed up for that hearing. All right, so and then they approved that one, whatever that one was. Okay, and let's go to the next one. Okay. Okay, now this one is a little bit longer. So let's see if we can find the discussion on that. All right, here we go.
Or anything in between the project area and the homes. We can work that in at some point, I guess, in discussion later. But generally speaking, we fully believe. Yeah.
It's not showing up on YouTube. So
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Real quick. My bad.
Part of our due diligence when we do a decommissioning plan of the site. So that's typically what
All right.
they were left out. It was not purposeful. We followed the county's guidance on the mailers and the radius of properties requiring those mailers. And I think it was mentioned earlier, I forget the exact number of feet, but it was a very specific distance. And
It's over 2,000. Is that not correct?
yeah, so whoever was in that radius received notification of the project. Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. That is mine. Hey, Corey, are there any additions to the record?
Chairman, my presentation should be entered into the record as an exhibit, and the applicant's presentation should also be entered into the record as an exhibit.
Okay, but no other presentations. All right.
Chairman, Commissioners, we'll want that rendering as well. It sounds like the one that you were shown will add that as an exhibit.
Right. Well, that'll be there part of the record as well.
Chairman,
Presented. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So with that, we are prepared to close the public hearing. We've got everything we need to be added to the record then. Correct?
Chairman, that's correct.
Okay. All right. With that, I will close the public hearing on application 2023-02165 VCU MSP PR. The public hearing being closed. It's up for us to discuss it and to render a decision. Is there any kind of discussion to be made right now?
Well, maybe I'll kick it off. Just to address the notice and our radius that's in our Ada County Code, I believe that the applicants complied with the notice requirements. However, I don't think it would have taken a crystal ball to know that people who live in those neighborhoods would have been concerned. And so I think maybe we need to look at an ordinance change for a situation like this, because obviously the rationale for 2,000 feet within a densely packed neighborhood is going to be different from a rural agricultural where, from the porch of your home, you can see well past 2,000 feet. So I think maybe that could be something that we look into in the future. This came up in a previous meeting that generally these companies have found land that's far away from the neighbors and it hasn't been an issue. So I was wondering if there would be any neighborhood concerns from this one, because you can see, the neighborhoods are probably within a distance that they could see it and would have some issues with it. Based on what I've heard tonight, I'm thinking about potentially requiring or keeping the hearing open to require a landscaping buffering plan that could be submitted to the county for review, and that would be on the areas which the neighborhood would be able to see. And possibly getting comment from the neighbors as well. But I think that might be something to help with the concerns of the neighbors if there's a landscaping plan that's approved first that would deal with some of their concerns, and possibly even requiring some meetings with the neighbors, at least one meeting, to get their overall concerns with the project. Again, they weren't required to by the radius that we have in our code, but I think we probably still could require a meeting. Anyways, those are my initial thoughts on this.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Just to follow up on Commissioner Davidson's, and I don't, is it closed?
Hearing's closed.
It's my understanding from the discussion that they committed to do both of those things, to have a mitigation fencing, trees or whatever, and to meet with the neighborhood as well and see if there were any other things that could fit with that. That was at least my recollection of what they committed to do that. I don't know that we need to formally do that since they've committed on the record to do that, but we might.
Well, and there's a detailed list of requirements that's in the approval if we approve it, and a lot of those are in there, particularly the mitigation on wildlife.
Right.
That's in the requirement. Is that not, Corey?
Chairman, Commissioner Daly, there are requirements for mitigation to wildlife and habitat after those surveys are completed that you heard about in testimony. Landscaping is not a requirement that's in the conditions of approval. So as Commissioner Davidson was talking about, that's not included in here.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that could be something, if that was of interest, it could be added as a condition of approval if that would assist. But again, the distance will be challenging to rely on landscaping to buffer, but it's certainly something that could help soften the viewscape. But yeah, the mitigation that's proposed primarily focuses on wildlife and impacts to some of those natural features versus impacts to visual impacts.
Okay. Well, what's the pleasure of the board? Is there a motion?
This is a staff question as well. Do you, in these kinds of situations where they committed in a public setting to do that thing, is it more useful that we actually put it in the conditions of, or is it a commitment already there, you feel?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Daly, I think it doesn't hurt to be specific. If there's something that you're hearing that's a concern that you want to ensure is addressed, to make sure it's a condition, to ensure that impact's addressed. For me, it's not clear what you're referring to, so I think some assistance there would be helpful.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't recall specifically what they agreed to on the landscaping, or if it was just a general comment, or if they made any commitments. But it's been fairly common that we've kept the record open to get additional landscaping plans or design plans. So I would be in favor of adding a requirement that they submit a landscaping plan as part of the condition of approval.
I don't have a problem with that either. If they've already made the commitment, if we just formalize it and put it in the record, I have no problem with that.
Okay. That being said, the requirement for us would be to table this while we get a new. Go ahead.
Sorry, Chairman, Commissioners, you have two options. Landscaping plans can be a deferred review by the director if you want to put that on the director to determine if the landscaping plan is appropriate based on testimony you've heard and the comments that you've made. If you would like to personally review the landscaping plan, then yeah, tabling would probably be the way to go and give the applicant time to develop that plan to show you at a future hearing.
And would that allow the neighbors or any interested party to look at that and offer their comment before the commissioners?
Yeah, Chairman, Commissioner, it depends on how you handle the record. You could leave the record open to specifically comments on the landscaping plan developed by the applicant. You could take additional testimony on that. Probably a good idea since you're entering new things into the record. You could fully open the record and have everybody comment on the whole project again. So it's really at your discretion how much you want to close that record for the additional materials you seem to be wanting.
I'd be personally would be welcome the director to look at the landscaping plan, and I don't think we need to have the hearing, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I agree with that. That's why I specifically asked staff if based on what we discussed, what the comments were made on the record, if staff felt they could flesh that out sufficiently based on that, and then we could bring it, and when we approve it, it would have that.
You need to write a new requirement.
So, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you do have the option to simply add a condition of approval. Since Corey is recommending approval of this application, we wouldn't need to make any other modifications unless Corey has anything else we're not aware of.
Chairman, Commissioners, no, you could approve with an additional condition. It would be helpful if maybe you clarified where you want that landscaping to be on the site, as a landscaping plan in general could potentially be the entire perimeter, and it sounds like we're looking at specifics.
Well, I would just ask that the applicant to consult with the director and get direction from the director.
That's my feeling as well.
And we can just use that and put that in motion. All right.
Chairman, that's correct.
Is there a motion then?
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll move. So would we be tabling this, or this would just be adding a condition of approval? I'll move that we approve application number 202-302-165-V-CU-MSP-PR, Mission Clean Energy, with the addition of a condition which requires the applicant to submit a landscaping plan, the purpose of which largely is to soften the view from the neighborhoods that are close by. We're not talking about the entire perimeter. We're talking specifically to address the concerns of the neighbor, and that should be submitted to the director for approval.
Is that clear?
Yes, that's what you're going to ask. Is that clear to the staff?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that works.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, for the good of the record, I will note that this is Corey's last public hearing, and she's moving on to CCDC and will no longer be with us. So
Well, looks like she's walking out the door right
I
now.
want to mention it now.
Goodbye, Corey.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you for working with you.
County.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We're on number 4, right? I'll open the public hearing on application 2023-02300 VCCDA BVA Clark Wardle, and we'll ask Leon to give us a report.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. I'll sit down before you.
All right, let's see. Public hearing.
humorous to me. Many people have seen this sign for the public hearing. There's a trail up ahead for hiking, and they'll come look at it. Sharon's really friendly. She goes and talks to them, and they all concerned about a big subdivision coming in. The moment she says, no, it's just one home, they say thanks, and they start their walk and they move on. And so that's what we're going for today. She wants to preserve that rural country feel and put her property to a better use for like a rural estate. Next slide. And that needle that we identified, we have a
Public hearing on application 2023-02678, VPBA LR Geo. Who's going to, is Amelia?
Okay, they close it. Here, let's go.
Okay, I will close the public hearing on application. Nobody else signed up. Does anybody else want to testify? No, Aaron. Okay, thanks. I'll close public hearing.
Chairman, before we close the public hearing, I just want to enter the presentations into the record.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So my presentation will be exhibit number 27, and then Mr. Tucker's presentation will be exhibit number 28.
All right. Any other documents need to be added to the record?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right. Documents been added to the record. I'll close public hearing on application 2024-0015 VAC. The application being closed. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve application 2024-00015 BAC, Boise 100 Homes, vacation of a portion of public utilities and property drainage easement, based on findings, facts, and of law and testimony we heard tonight.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, I will move on and open the public hearing on application 2024-00083.
Mr. Chairman, I do not.
Okay, we will, I'll then close the public hearing on application 2024-00083 VAC. Is there a motion?
Did you say that we had to add something to it? Was that what you said before?
No, there was a one of the comment that we received from the member of the public recommended or requested an additional condition of approval, and that's up to you whether or not you'd like to add. I can repeat it for you if you'd like, but the applicant has already indicated that they're willing to work with their.
Oh, they're already working with you to do that, correct?
Yes,
So does it have to be added if we want to put it in, or is it in?
it's not currently in.
That could be part of the motion.
Yes, it could be. If you'd like, I can repeat what they specifically wanted added.
So then we would have to do the same thing we did with the other one. We'd have to approve it with that addition and table it to another date.
Well, we wouldn't have to table it.
Mr. Chairman, it's a simple addition that a licensed engineer will evaluate the required retaining wall for the secondary dwelling. We can add that if you make it part of your motion. We can add those simple ones. It's where they get a little more complex. We want you to re-review all the findings.
Okay.
And conditions.
All right, well, the applicant's already said they'll do it, but we can add it if you want it.
Yeah, if you'd read it.
Yes. Let's see. So it would be to
Let me start the motion, and then when you read it, I'll repeat it. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve application 2024-00083 BAC, Beth Carrier variance and accessory use for a 1,200 square foot secondary dwelling unit with the following condition added.
that the project is evaluated by a licensed civil engineer who would provide a signed and stamped calculation for the retaining wall.
That the evaluation would be by a licensed engineer to evaluate the retaining wall so that it would be sound.
To provide a signed and stamped calculation for the retaining wall.
Signed the calculation for the retaining wall.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that. I think it's a good project, and it qualifies for a variance under the conditions we have in code. I think it's a very, very nice thing you're doing for your mother. It's very admirable, and I think it's great. I'm still going to vote no. Just kidding.
Okay, well, I agree. I appreciate some of these variances that we're able to provide for in ADUs. I think it's a nice thing to do. Thank you. And so with that, you've heard the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you for waiting all this time.
Yeah.
And happy Valentine's Day. I'm sure this is what you had in mind for today, right?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Is there any other business needs to be brought before the commission?
Nothing else, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, that was the summary. Nothing specifically really big that I saw. Yeah, all right, well, have a good one. Bye-bye.